3-second video, plucked from the sun-dappled edge of a swimming pool, has done more than just circulate online. It has fundamentally recalibrated our understanding of what it means to capture the global imagination in the year 2025. This wasn't a meticulously choreographed dance break from a sold-out stadium tour, nor was it a leaked clip from a high-budget film set. It was a fragment of leisure, a sliver of unguarded life, featuring Kim Taehyung V of BTS, casually sinking a basketball. Yet, this fleeting moment ignited a digital supernova, its shockwaves rippling far beyond the confines of fan communities and into the very boardrooms of media conglomerates and the quiet studies of cultural analysts. Welcome to Celeb World Insight. If you have arrived here seeking the recycled hot takes and breathless gossip that form the background noise of the internet, you have, perhaps intuitively, already scrolled past it. This channel exists in a different space. Here we do not simply report the phenomenon, we dissect it. We isolate its components, trace its lineage, and interrogate its meaning. That single, seemingly effortless basketball shot did far more than break the internet, a phrase now worn thin from overuse. It exposed a raw and fascinating cultural nerve, one that thrummed with a collective recognition and a quiet anxiety. Why did this casual, unsponsored moment resonate with a deeper, more profound echo than any staged premiere or orchestrated press junket? How does his very name now command airtime on national television programs he has never attended, becoming a recurring spectral guest in conversations he isn't there to have? And most crucially, what does this intense, passive centrality reveal about an uncomfortable and seismic shift in the very architecture of modern celebrity? The answers to these questions do not point to a simple story of fame. They illuminate a new power dynamic, one that is quietly, profoundly, making entire legacy industries deeply nervous. To understand the magnitude of the echo, we must first isolate the source of the sound. Let's deconstruct the moment itself, frame by virtual frame. Strip away the imagined soundtrack. Remove the hypothetical filters. What remains is a study in pure, unadulterated kinetic grace. The arc of the ball was geometrically satisfying, a parabola of perfect physics, but to attribute the viral explosion to athletic skill alone is to profoundly miss the point. What truly captivated millions was the complete, holistic package in motion. It was the disciplined, sculpted physique, a testament to private dedication, not public display, moving with a natural, unhurried confidence. It was the focused, almost serene expression, a quiet intensity that suggested the world had narrowed to the rim, a mindfulness in action. It was the understated, contained celebration that followed. A small jump, a slight turn, a demeanor that screamed a quiet, secure confidence rather than any performative arrogance. This wasn't a performance for the camera, because the camera felt like an afterthought. This was a genuine, unmediated glimpse of an innate quality. He doesn't perform coolness. He embodies it, effortlessly, even in absolute solitude. People didn't just watch this clip. They looped it. They analyzed it. They marveled at it. Why? Because in a digital age saturated with manufactured, overproduced, and desperately trend-chasing content, this moment felt expensive in its radical simplicity. It was charisma, completely unplugged from any external power source. This visceral public reaction reveals a profound and growing hunger for authenticity, a craving for glimpses of the unscripted self that no polished variety show segment or carefully managed Instagram story can ever truly satisfy. This clip was the spark, a brilliant, spontaneous flare. But the real story, the more enduring narrative, is found in where that spark landed and the kind of fire it started. The echo of that 3-second clip traveled with astonishing velocity, far beyond the algorithmic feeds of social media platforms. It landed with palpable force in the writers' rooms and production meetings of national television networks. On popular variety shows and talk programs where Kim Taehyung was neither a guest nor a scheduled topic, his name began to appear with striking frequency as the ultimate cultural reference point, the default benchmark for contemporary relevance and impact. Consider the weight of a casual offhand mention by a respected peer like DJ Tukuts, who simply referred to V as his rival. The reaction within the studio, a beat of silence, a collective intake of breath, a wave of acknowledging laughter, was more telling than any prepared tribute. This was an unscripted, industry-level acknowledgement of peer status, a quiet coronation that holds far more legitimacy than any paid promotional plug. His relevance in these spaces isn't aggressively claimed by a publicity team. It is gently, consistently conferred upon him by the culture itself. Then we observe the even more telling social parlor games. When program hosts pose impossible, humorous hypotheticals, pitting his name against other colossal figures in absurd dilemmas, the flustered, joking refusals to choose are themselves rich data points. This evasion signals a level of influence so potent, so towering, that it becomes an untouchable subject, a veritable third rail in entertainment conversation. To engage with it directly is to risk offense or reveal bias, so it is handled with cautious, jesting hands. This omnipresence as a passive benchmark, however, inevitably breeds a specific and recognizable kind of irritation, a cultural friction that is essential to understand. Let us directly address this friction. This consistent, seemingly effortless centrality unavoidably agitates the old guard and the machinery built on a different model of fame. The superficial critique that the media worships him is a facile misdiagnosis. The media, in truth, is simply holding up a mirror, reflecting back the audience's own captivated fixation. He isn't frantically chasing the spotlight. The spotlight, magnetized, is now in a stable orbit around him. Within an entertainment ecosystem traditionally built on visible hustle, managed controversy, and manufactured buzz, this type of passive gravitational dominance is inherently disruptive. It breaks the unwritten rules. It renders the frantic, highly visible striving of others transparent, making it look exactly like what it is: strenuous effort. This dissonance is why some reactions curdle into sourness. The irritation is rarely about him as an individual per se. It is, more accurately, about what his silent success starkly reveals about the exhausting, often cynical game everyone else is perceived to be playing. When you inadvertently become the silent standard, every other loud effort is instinctively measured against your quiet yardstick. The data underpinning this reality is cold, objective, and irrefutable. Consistent top-tier search volume that defies traditional promotion cycles, organic trending topics spawned from the most mundane of activities, and mentions on major programs that are demonstrably audience-driven and editorially organic, not the result of strategic PR placement. This leads us to the million-dollar question. What is the core, atomic source of this formidable, quiet power? The power derives from a potent, alchemical convergence of rare elements, especially potent in an age rife with digital fabrication and curated personas. It is the visual proportion and physicality that feels classically sculpted, yet vibrantly alive. It is the quality of natural movement, a way of walking, gesturing, simply existing, that reads instinctively as luxury, not because of branded clothing but because of inherent grace. It is, perhaps most compellingly, a face and bearing that consistently convey a profound, unbothered calm, an emotional and psychological poise that feels both ancient and utterly modern. This specific combination short-circuits our casual, scroll-habituated viewing, forces a double-take, commands a pause. It translates seamlessly across barriers of language and culture, functioning as a universal visual lexicon of compelling presence. The poolside photos and casual street sightings that perpetually circulate are not, at their core, about flaunting material wealth or exotic locations. They are showcases of a far rarer, more valuable currency in our time: effortless authenticity. This perceived authenticity, whether fully captured or skillfully implied, forms the unshakable bedrock of fan pride and public fascination. The attachment is not rooted in a childish belief in flawlessness or perfection, but in a mature recognition of a consistent, compelling, and seemingly coherent reality. This deep, almost primal recognition brings us to the final, and most important piece of this intricate puzzle. You. Your perspective, your reaction, and your analysis are the final variables in this complex cultural equation. We are not interested in echo chambers or polite agreement. We are driven by genuine discourse. So we pose the questions to you, the engaged viewer. In the comments section below, share your genuine take. Was that viral basketball moment merely a happy accident of timing and placement, or was it the inevitable, logical result of a unique and cultivated personal aura that was always destined to captivate? Does this observed level of organic, unsolicited influence inspire you, suggesting new possibilities for artistic presence, or does the constant, inescapable buzz surrounding it create a sense of fatigue or saturation? Your collective opinion is the most valuable real-world data set in existence. If you have listened this far, you already understand that Kim Taehyung's cultural footprint in 2025 is not a simple celebrity headline to be skimmed and forgotten. It is a rich, complex case study in modern influence, a living textbook on the transition from manufactured stardom to gravitational cultural presence. Supporting this channel means supporting a mission dedicated to providing this deeper layer of insight, moving past the screaming headlines and into the quieter, more significant undercurrents. If this approach resonates with you, if you value analysis over agitation, then help this community grow. Hit the like button right now. It's the simplest signal that content with substance has value. Subscribe to Celeb World Insight to ensure you never miss a deep dive. What we are piecing together behind the scenes connects these specific dots to a much larger, more intricate pattern within the global entertainment industry. A pattern of shifting power, evolving audience expectations, and the new rules of engagement. This story is ongoing. Stay here. Stay curious. Maintain that critical, questioning perspective. The deepest insight, as always, is just beginning.